One of the most powerful things about a ketogenic lifestyle is that your body can produce ketones, an alternative fuel that supports steadier energy, mental clarity, and metabolic healing. Ketones don't appear by accident. They're produced in response to specific food signals, especially carbohydrate intake. That's why keto works best when you understand what you're eating and why it matters. Today, I'm going to show you how to create the conditions for ketones to rise, not through restriction or guesswork, but through awareness and skill. Because that skill that makes keto work isn't willpower, it's knowing how to read your food. Before you lower carbs, before you clean out your pantry, before you try to do keto, you need to understand what's actually coming in. Most people struggle early on because they don't know where carbohydrates are coming from or how quickly they add up. And once you see your food clearly, keto stops feeling confusing and starts making sense. This is where preparation replaces willpower. Now, let's talk about tracking. Tracking is how you learn what's actually in your food. And most people believe they know how many carbohydrates they're eating, and most are surprised once they see it written out. Tracking removes guesswork. It shows you where your carbohydrates are coming from, how protein and fat show up together in real meals, and how quickly carbs can add up without you realizing it. This is a practical skill, and like any skill, it gets easier with practice. And once you understand what you're eating, decisions become simpler and more confident. And over time, many people don't need to track as closely because they've learned how food works. That's the goal. But 7 years into it, if I feel stuck, I will begin tracking again, and it keeps me honest. Here's exactly what I want you to do. Step 1, choose a tracking app. Download a food tracking app that clearly shows total carbohydrates, protein grams, and fat grams. And for now, we're tracking total carbohydrates, not net carbs. Total carbs build accuracy and awareness. I'll list the recommended apps in the description below. Step 2, track your normal intake. For the next few days, track everything you eat and drink. Don't change how you eat yet. Don't try to eat keto either. This is not dieting, it's observation. You're learning where you're starting and how to use the app. Step 3, use labels and ingredient lists. Whenever possible, scan barcodes or enter foods directly from the nutrition labels. Pay attention to serving size, total carbohydrate grams, the ingredients lists. This is where many people have their first real aha moment. One important thing to understand when reading ingredient lists is this. Sugar very rarely appears as sugar in the ingredients. Food manufacturers use many different names for sugar just to confuse everyone. They include sugar, cane sugar, brown sugar, honey, maple syrup, agave, molasses, corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, rice syrup, tapioca syrup, malt syrup, dextrose, fructose, glucose, sucrose, maltose, fruit juice concentrate, apple juice concentrate. From a metabolic standpoint, these all act as carbohydrates. They raise blood sugar, they increase insulin demand, and they interfere with ketone production. This isn't about panic though, this is just about recognition. You'll also see sugar alcohols in many low-carb keto labeled foods. Common ones include erythritol, xylitol, sorbitol, maltitol, isomalt, lactitol. Sugar alcohols are still carbohydrates. Some have minimal blood sugar impact while others raise blood sugar significantly, like maltitol, sorbitol, and isomalt. And responses can vary between people. That's why, especially early on, we track total carbohydrates. Total carbs include sugar alcohols, and tracking them helps you understand how your body responds, why some keto products stall progress, which foods don't support ketone production. Later, once you understand your own response, we'll talk about when net carbs may be appropriate. For now, awareness comes first. Okay, so let me show you exactly what this looks like. Once you get used to filling this out and setting your tracker up, it really doesn't take long because it will remember things that you've eaten before. So let me show you what today looked like for me. Let's start with breakfast. So up here, they're going to show you macros. And if you want to set goals, you can set goals there. And they're old from when I was keto, but I'm more carnivore now. But let me show you what I do. Okay. So when you use this frequently, it'll pre-populate things that you eat often. So I have 1 tablespoon of uh, butter to make my eggs in. I have 3 large pasture-raised eggs. Okay, and then I had 4 pieces of bacon. And then there's my cottage cheese. So once you get them pre-populated and use them, it goes very quickly. This is not very time consuming. So we'll close that, and then up here you can see we'll talk more about macros in the upcoming videos. But it's going to show you that for breakfast, my meal was 69, almost 70% fat, 30% protein, and 1% carb. So I had 51 grams of protein, which is really important as a postmenopausal woman, and I have all animal-based sources, so I'm hitting my leucine threshold. We'll talk about that later. And I also had 53 grams of fat. So my breakfast was 663 total calories. Now let's scroll down to lunch. Lunch is smaller for me. In the old days, I would put raw walnuts, a couple raspberries, or a medium strawberry when I was keto. But now I'm going to plug it in. So this is, if it didn't show up for you, I would put in 5% Greek yogurt. And there it pops up. So, and I have about 3/4 of a cup. All right. And I don't put the strawberries or nuts on it when I'm carnivore. So I have that breakfast and lunch with a cup of tea. So that's going to add that. And when you go to the top now, I'm at 823 calories for the day. I'm up to 66 grams of protein. So that I need to get a nice serving of protein in for dinner, 62 grams of fat, and I'm at 823 calories and 7 carbs for the day. So for dinner, I am having, and I didn't have it yet, but I know what I'm going to have. I'm the cook. I have chicken thighs with skin. All right, so 3 medium chicken thighs with skin, and I'll add that. That's 574 calories. So remember, I'm not getting my energy from carbohydrates. I'm getting my energy from fat on my body and the fat that I eat. And so now you can see I'm 134 grams of protein. That's, for women, oftentimes it's hard to get that in, and that's perfect. That works out. I'm very happy with that. I had 94 grams of fat left. These numbers were higher when I weighed more. I haven't changed them. That's why it looks like I'm low. And then my calories are 1397. So this is when I was much heavier. I needed 1800 calories. Now I'm at 1397, so 1400 calories. That's perfect. So ketones rise when carbohydrate intake is consistently low enough, not when the process is rushed or guessed. When you track, it helps you identify carb-heavy foods, remove hidden sugars, and we know the food manufacturers, just by all those different names, are trying to hide how much sugar is in their product. It also creates stable signals for ketone production. This is how ketones become predictable instead of frustrating. So your action step from this video: track your current intake for a few days without changing the way you eat. Learn where your carbohydrates are coming from. You might be surprised. Learn how protein and fat show up together. Build awareness, information first, change later. To support you through this step, I have created free resources that you can download from my Fourth Wall store. I'll link them below, including a keto food list, a complete list of sugar names and sugar alcohols to help you read labels with confidence. These are free and designed to go hand in hand with this video. In the next video, we'll use what you learned here to set up your environment for success. We'll talk about what to remove from your kitchen, supportive versus problematic fats, how to stock your pantry for keto, and how tracking becomes a tool instead of a chore. Because success with keto isn't just about what you eat, it's about what's around you. Remember, you don't need to do this perfectly. You don't need to rush. You just need to understand what you're doing and why. That's how real, sustainable change happens.